At the beginning of this year, I made a decision that truly transformed me. And no, it wasn't a big dramatic change like quitting something or even starting something new. I simply stopped thinking about moving. Today I'm sharing my Christian mom glow up and explaining why this single choice changed everything for me. More importantly, I will be teaching you a coaching tool that's a real game changer, and at the very end, I will be giving you a free resource that I'm super excited about that will help you achieve your own glow up. So for way too long, the idea of moving has just been this huge question mark, taking up so much valuable real estate in the back of my mind. My husband and I would go back and forth, dreaming about different cities and weighing the possibilities. At first, it was a really fun what if, but by the end of last year, it had become debilitating. It felt like I could not fully plant myself in the life that I was living because a part of me was always waiting for something to change. And that under the surface indecision was sucking the peace right out of my day-to-day life. Night and day comparison to my experience making the decision to quit my job and stay at home. I talked about it last week. I'll link that video. I know that I'm not the only one who has been here. Maybe for you it's not moving. Maybe you are waiting for your husband to get that raise or finally feel called to find a new job. Maybe you're waiting for another baby or trying to decide if you should have another baby. Maybe you're waiting to feel more confident before you start homeschooling. Or maybe you're just stuck in the daily mental loop of what's wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? Why does everything feel so hard? For me, it got to the point where I wasn't doing the things that made me feel grounded or connected anymore because it felt like, what's the point? If we're just going to move soon anyway, why invest here? I wasn't really nurturing friendships the way that I could have been. I wasn't paying as much attention to our yard and being a good steward of the place that we called home. I was hesitant to do little projects around the house like light fixtures or little touches that I knew would make such a big difference in how we all felt about the house, how it functioned for us. And yet I just felt so hesitant and held back by this big kind of elephant in the room of, but we might move. This might be a waste of money. Maybe this isn't such a smart investment. I basically just had this vague feeling of discontent all the time. And I kept thinking that the answer was somewhere in the future. If you're feeling this way, like you're paused or waiting for clarity, I totally get it. But I want to offer you what I've learned through life coaching and from the Spirit, that clarity often comes after movement, not before. That's why I wrote my free ebook, You Were Made for This. It's all about embracing the mom that God designed you to be. It's a heartfelt guide to help you get unstuck, not by changing your circumstances, but by changing the way you think about them. I will show you how to stop waiting for peace and start creating it right here, right now. You can grab it for free through the link in the description. Because here's what I know, and what I had forgotten for a little while, to be honest. As Christians, we are here to have joy. We are here to grow and to become more like Christ. And in the Book of Mormon, we learned something really powerful, that we were created to act, not to be acted upon. This means that we aren't meant to sit around waiting for life to happen to us. But that's exactly what I was doing. And in life coaching, we learned that we're not at the mercy of our circumstances. We get to act. But I was letting indecision act on me. I was handing over my agency to some unknown future. It's really easy to forget this ability to act when you're in the thick of daily life, packing lunches, chasing toddlers, changing diapers, folding laundry, while mentally calculating bills. So think for just a second if there's a decision or a maybe or a what if that you are stuck in. Are you holding off on happiness until you finally lose the weight or finally make more money or finally get through this really tricky stage with your kids? What's the crutch that's keeping you from becoming the woman God designed you to be? God was waiting for me to stop circling in indecision. He was waiting for me to start moving forward again. How can you break your own version of this mental loop? Is there a decision that you're stuck in? First, know that there's nothing wrong with you. Our brains think they're protecting us when we stay in that in-between place. They want to protect us from risk, and the unknown just feels so scary. And so we stall out, not because we're lazy or unfaithful, so stop telling yourself that, but because we're unsure. The problem is we often confuse waiting on the Lord with avoiding action. Faith requires action. We know that faith without works is dead. So, how can we act? How can we move forward when we feel paralyzed with doubt or indecision or uncertainty? Something I teach my coaching clients is that you don't need to make a big, scary, forever decision. My favorite phrase is, it's a no for today. That small sentence has gotten me through so many times, and it can free up so much mental energy for other things. You don't need to figure out your whole life path before you start moving forward. You don't have to finalize that big, huge decision today. You just need to give yourself permission to let go of the pressure to decide, the pressure to have the end result right now, or the pressure to know the right answer at this very moment. Once I did that, once I said, it's a no for today, we're not moving today, and did it over and over again, I was able to show up for the life that I actually had in front of me, not the one that I was obsessing over. It is so worth doing. After I let go of that constant mental back and forth, here's what actually changed. Remember those 180 days that I talked about in the title? I started pouring into my neighborhood, really seeing the good in the people around me. I pruned our fruit trees. I really paid attention to the yard that I had neglected for so long and just saw as temporary. I had a lot more mental space for things like picking back up with family scripture study and cooking yummy meals and just being present. I felt more available for my life. So here's what changed. Over the past 180 days, I started moving forward again. This year hasn't brought the change that I once thought it might. We aren't moving, but I definitely changed. The choice to embrace my current reality has filled me with so much peace and energy, and honestly gratitude for where I'm at. And that is the glow up for most of us. Not that everything suddenly looks different, but that we start seeing it in a different way and we start feeling different. If you're ready for that kind of shift, the kind that brings peace and clarity without needing anything to change, go download the free ebook. It is full of gospel-centered coaching tools that will help you embrace not only your current season, but your current you. Imperfections and all. You don't need to become someone else to be good enough. You want a glow up? This book is your ticket. It's completely free. Just grab the link in the description. If you want to watch the video coming up next, you will see some very confident, value-based decisions in action. You ladies are wonderful, and I'll see you soon.